Hello guys and welcome to my 10th video tutorial on JavaScript. This video I'm going to teach you how to use the while loop. Okay, it's very simple but a little different than the for loop. So let's go to Notepad++ and let's start from 0 and type a variable I equals 0. As we did in the for loop. Okay, we start in the same way, but now instead of typing for, let's type while parentheses, and inside the parentheses we're going to type I is less or equal than 10, and type your curly braces to type your code in it, or the code that we will run. And this means while or as long as I, which is 0, so as long as 0 is less or equal to 10, please run the code in here. Okay, and the code will be document write, and let's type hello, and let's type a line break tag, okay, to do a list type presentation. And now we're going to type I is equal to I plus 1. Okay, this means that we're going to type or output the word hello, and then we aggregate one more hello, okay, to the code, or one more line of code. Okay, so let's run this. Okay, maybe you are a little bit confused, but you'll get the idea now once we run it. Launch Chrome, and you'll see that hello runs 10 times, right? So that is because we are saying that as long as I is less or equal to 10, okay, we have to run this hello, okay, and aggregate one more line to hello. One more line means another document write hello. Okay, so this runs document write hello, and then another document write hello until it gets to the number 10. Okay, when it reaches number 10, it stops. So if I type here 20, this code, this line, okay, will run until it reaches 20. Okay, let's run this. You'll see that you'll get 20 hellos. See? Okay, instead of word, let's use now let's use numbers. Okay, and we use that with the variable I plus, and now we're gonna type the break line. Okay, now we are saying that we want to output the variable, which is 0, the number 0, and aggregate 1, okay, every time we output a number. Okay, so it will aggregate a number 1 until it reaches 20. Okay, let's save this. Let's type, instead of 20, 10, because 20 is too much. So let's see this. And that's it. Okay, it starts with the 0. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 until it reaches 10. Okay, so this 0 is the I variable. Okay, and I'm saying that I want to aggregate a plus 1, okay, to each line, okay, until we get to 10, until I reaches 10. When it reaches or equals to 10, stop. Okay, so it reaches to 10 and it stops. Okay, it's pretty simple and very it's very logical how it works. But if you guys still have any questions about this, okay, just send me a message, okay, and I'll try to answer you as soon as possible. So try to do some of these on your own, okay, and change some things or some text, okay. And we this is all for loops, okay, the while loop and the for loop. Then the next video we're gonna do some other stuff. So see you guys later, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Okay guys, see ya. Hello guys, and welcome to my 11th video tutorial on JavaScript. And in this video I'm going to teach you how to use the break and the continue, okay, in a for loop. So let's open the Notepad++, and let's start and do the for loop. Variable I equals 0 for, and you remember this, right? For loop, and now we type I equals 0. Semicolon, I is less than or equal to 10, which these are the number of loops we want to do to the code, and I++, okay, to repeat, this is to repeat or aggregate one more loop until it gets to 10. Okay, so now we're gonna open curly braces and we're gonna type the code we want to loop. Document, right? And let's type this is loop number, and then give a space plus I plus, and let's give a line break. Okay, so let's save this and let's run this in Chrome and see how is the code presented in the web page. So here it is. Okay, so we have 10 loops, okay, of the code. So this is loop number 0, loop number 1, loop number 2. So we have 10 loops, right? As we say here, 10 loops of the code. And now I want to get, for example, I want to the for loop when it gets to 4. Okay, I want to end it there. Okay, I don't want 5 loops or 6 or 7 or 8, 9 or 10. I just want to get to for loop and end the loop there. So to do that, we know that we can change this here, right? But I'm going to show you another way of doing that. Instead of changing this, okay, which are the number of loops we want, I want, let's do an if statement, okay, and now we do if I equals exactly, okay, so you know already that two equal signs means exactly equal. So if I, okay, equals exactly to 5, this is like if we say when the loop reaches number 5, I want a break. Okay, so I want it to break. So this is it. Save this and open the browser, refresh, and there it is. When it reaches to number 5 loop, it ends. Okay, So this is how we do the break, okay? And we can change this and do in 3, okay? So when it gets to 3, it stops. Cool. So now I want to use the continue, okay? The continue, we use the continue when we want to jump or skip one of the lines, okay? One of the loops. So instead of break, this is very easy. Instead of break, you'll type continue, okay? And that's it. And here we will type the number that we want to skip, or the loop that we want to skip. So let's skip number 5. Save this, open the browser, refresh, and now we have loop number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and from 4 it jumps to 6. Okay, there's no loop number 5, so we jump or skip number 5 loop. Okay, and we can change this and jump 7 loop, the 8 loop. Okay, so it's pretty simple and easy, okay, to use the continue or the break. Okay, so also you can use this not only in the for loop, you can use it in the while loop also as well. So this is all for this video. If you guys have any questions at all, just send me a message, and see you guys in the next video. Bye. Hello guys, welcome to my 12th video tutorial on JavaScript. And this video I'm going to teach you how to use functions. Okay, so a function is let's open Notepad. Function is it's a bunch of code, okay, and that we store in a name, okay. So let's give the first function a name, and let's call it test. Okay, test, and then below we type curly braces, and then here we're going to type our code, and the code is an output saying something. So let's write document, right, this is my first function. Okay, so now we have a function with the name test. Okay, you can name a function whatever name you want. Okay, don't forget to put the parentheses. You have to always put the parentheses after the name of the function. So this is the name of the function. You always have to type function first. Okay, you'll see that the name changes to italic and color blue. Okay, so this is function test with the code document right. And to run the function test, we type test parentheses. Okay, save it. Run this in Chrome. And what happened? Okay, there it is. This is my first function. Okay, so to run the function, okay, which is the same to say run this code here, we have to type the name, okay, and the parentheses here. See, if we take this out, the code will not run. You see? Okay, let's type another function. Function hi, parentheses, curly braces, and let's type here document right hi there. Okay, save this, and to run this, obviously we type hi parentheses, and now this code will run. Okay, this function, this is function hi, and this code is the code that will run in your web page when you call hi. So let's open the browser, refresh, and there it is. Hi there. Okay. We can call also the test function again. Okay. Let's save this. Let's refresh. Okay, so there it is, the two functions. Okay, so now I'm going to teach you how to use the parameters, okay, inside the parentheses. Okay, so let's delete all this. Now you know how to make a simple function, and we can leave this function named test. Okay, now we're gonna name inside the parentheses we're gonna do or type two parameters. Okay, and let's call those parameters x and y. Let's open curly braces to write our code. Okay, now we're gonna type a simple calculation, which is z equals x plus y. Okay, which are these two parameters, x and y. Okay, and now we say return z. Okay, so what this function means is, or this code means is, I have now this is a variable z, okay, which equals to value x plus y. Okay, that we have here, but we don't know yet the values of x and y, what numbers or what value these variables have. Okay, because these are variables. Okay, so we didn't give any value to them yet. Okay, we just made a variable called z equals x plus y, and then to have the result of x plus y, we type return z, okay, which means return the value of z. Okay, so this function here will return the value of x plus y, okay, which is z. Okay, it's pretty clear. I hope you guys understand this. And now to give the value to these parameters, okay, we gonna output, let's make an alert, okay, parenthesis, and inside the parenthesis we gonna type the name of the function, which is test, so test here, and now we're gonna type the parenthesis, and inside the parenthesis, instead of putting x and y, we're gonna type the values that we want these variables to have, which I'm going to give them maybe 2 and 3. Okay, so this line of code here means we are gonna output an alert, okay, and then we are calling the function test, and we are giving the variables or the parameters x and y the number 2 and number 3 value. Okay, so it now the function is going to make the calculation 2 here and 3 here, and obviously it's going to give us or return a number 5, okay, which is this calculation here. So z is going to be number 5, okay. So let's see if this works, and let's run this, and we should have an alert saying 5. And there it is. Okay, so you can play a little bit more and make some complex equations or calculations here, okay, using the parameters. But if you guys have any questions at all about this, or you are a little bit confused, sorry, you can send me a message, okay, and I'll try to explain you better, okay, or give you another example. So see you guys in the next video, and hope you don't forget to subscribe. Okay, guys? See you. Hello, guys, and welcome to my video tutorial number 13 in JavaScript. And in this video, we are going to talk about methods and properties, okay, and how to use those. So let's start and build a variable. You can name it variable x equals Victor. Okay, variable x holding a string Victor. So now let's output document write parenthesis semicolon. And now let's type inside the parenthesis the variable x. So this line of code here should output in your browser Victor, okay? But now I'm going to show you how to use a property with the variable x, okay? And to use a property, you have to type after x, you type dot, and now the name of the property you want to use. And we're going to use, let's see, the property called length, okay? What this property does is returns the numerical value of the size of the string, okay? So it will count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 characters, okay? So 6 characters is the numerical size of the string, and that is what we will see in the output. See? 6, okay? So you now know that you have a text or a string with 6 digits or characters, okay? So this is one of the many properties that you can use, okay? And you can go to w3schools.com, and in JavaScript section you'll have there a big list, reference list of all properties available for you to use. You have a lot there, okay? So this is one example of a property, and now I'm going to use a method, okay? So a method, we use a method the same way we use a property. We leave the dot there, and now we type the name of the method. Now the method I want to type is to upper case. And methods works like functions. So they work like functions, so you'll have to end with open and close parentheses, okay? So methods, basically, you can think as methods as functions or built-in functions, okay, that exist in JavaScript by default, okay? And you also have a lot of methods that you can use, okay? And if you go to w3schools.com to the JavaScript section, you will also have a big list there of all the methods you can use by default or built-in methods that are available in JavaScript for you to use, okay? So this is one of them, to uppercase, and let's see what this does to my variable x or the string Victor. Let's open the browser, refresh, and there it is, okay? Victor in capital letters, okay? So basically what it did, it took the string Victor and it transformed it, the characters all into uppercase. Okay? So I'm going to show you also another cool method you can use. It's font color. And inside the parentheses, you can type whatever color you want. Okay, let's type red. Save that. And refresh, and there it is. Victor in red color, font red. Okay, so basically it changes the color of the font. Let's see another color, blue for example. Let's refresh, and there it is. Okay, it works perfectly. And this is also one of many methods you can use. Okay, and you will also have a lot of colors that you can use here. Okay, so basically this is it. This is how you can use methods and properties in JavaScript. And if you guys have any questions at all, just send me a message. Okay, and see you guys in the next video. Bye. Hello guys, and welcome to the 14th video tutorial on JavaScript. And we will continue to use a few more methods and properties I'm going to teach you. And the first thing I want you guys to do is create a var test equal, I'm going to type hello, my name is Victor, and down here let's type document right now test dot, and this is a new index of, this is a new method that you can use in JavaScript. And so you have to type index of, make sure the O is in capital O, and then a parenthesis. As you know, methods have parentheses. Methods and functions, you can think of those two as the same one, because usually we call methods, but some developers call it functions. So I may call it methods, and some tutorials I may call it functions, but they are the same. Okay, so you already know that functions have the parentheses at the end. So as you can see, we have index of, two parentheses, so this is a method or function. This is a built-in function in JavaScript, so we don't have to create it, we just have to call it. Now between the parentheses, we just have to type, in this case let me type Victor, let me type just a semicolon at the end. And what this will do is search in test. So it will search in the variable test, so it's a string where Victor is. Okay, so it will give us the position of the name Victor. So it will count, it will give us a number, okay, a numerical value, and let me just run it so you'll see right away how this works. So it gives me number 17. What this means is, if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the spaces counts as well as a number, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and it starts the name Victor. It gives us the position where in the string is the name Victor. Okay, if I type here, for example, name, probably will give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It will give us the number 9 probably. Yeah. Okay, perfect. So it's just a simple way where you can search for a large amount, where you have a big string It's something you can use to search a name that you want to know where it is when you have thousands of lines of code. Okay? If, for example, you type Joseph or something like that, just a random name that is not in the string, let's see what happens. Run this in Chrome. -1. What this means is that the name that you want to search doesn't exist on the string. Okay, so you'll have you have the information that the name that you want to search, it doesn't really exist there. Okay. Now there is also another thing you can use, another method or a function, which is match. Now match is something that will return the name if the name exists. So let me just type, for example, Joseph again, and let me run this in Chrome. Okay, it gives us null. It gives us null because it doesn't exist, Joseph. But what about if I type Victor? The return, it will be Victor. And if even I type just half of the name, you'll see if I run it, it will give me it is saying that exists Vict. Okay, it doesn't give me the complete name or the complete word, but it gives me the letters that exist in that order. Okay, so Vict exists, so that gives me that is the response that match method is giving me. Now these are just simple, very simple methods you can use in JavaScript. But at the end of this chapter, I'm going to put a list that you can download. I'm going to put a file after the project. You can find a file that I'm going to put in there with all the methods in JavaScript you can use. Okay, not only the methods. I'm going to put methods, properties, and event handlers there. Okay, guys, so you can check it out, and also you can check W3 Schools. It's a great source for you to find whatever you want about JavaScript. And that's basically it. If you guys have any questions, just send me a message. Okay, see you guys later. Bye. Hello, welcome to another video tutorial in JavaScript. And in this video tutorial, I'm going to talk about math objects. So math objects are very common and useful methods and functions built in JavaScript that developers use to develop games, for example, or whenever they have equations or complex results that they need for their applications or games or whatever, they use math objects in JavaScript to calculate those equations. I'm just going to show you just a few simple examples, okay? And so to start, I'm going to type, let's type document write. And to create or to use a math object, the first thing you have to do is type math between the parentheses and with capital M, and then you type dot, and now you can use whatever object or method you want. There are many that you can use. I'm going to use the first one that is called round, and then parentheses. So I'm calling these objects. So we didn't talk about objects yet. I'm going to do a video tutorial about it in JavaScript, and we will learn how to use objects and create objects and what objects are. But for now, you can think of objects as methods or functions, built-in methods or functions in JavaScript. Okay, so now I'm using the round object or method, and between the parentheses I'm going to type 3.2, a decimal number. Okay, so what this will output in the web page is the nearest whole number of 3.2, which is 3. Okay, and as you will see, if you run it, there it is, 3. Okay, so if I type, for example, 3.6 and run this, you'll see that we have 4. Okay, so this is something that is very, very useful for complex equations and calculations. Normally, as I told you before, normally they are used in development and games and something like that. I don't usually use math objects for my development and applications or websites, but it's something that exists in JavaScript, so I need to talk about it and show you at least some simple examples. And another cool object that you can use, math object, is the random. Okay, so random is something that will calculate a number randomly, or will give you a random number, and this could be useful for example, gambling website with or some kind of lottery or something like that. So I'm gonna give you an example. So the first thing you have to do is between the parentheses, after the parentheses, type the multiply symbol and 100, and after this plus 1. Okay, and we have to wrap it up with a parenthesis here, and there it is. Okay, basically what this will do is give you a random number between 1 and 100. Let me just check this in Chrome, and there it is. Okay, it gives you 44.99. okay, a decimal number. So what about if I don't want a decimal number? So to do it, just have to type in here math.floor, okay, and wrap this up in let me see. Okay, wrap this up in another parenthesis. So let me just save this, and let me see if it works. There it is. Okay, perfect. So between 1 and 100, it's given me, as you refresh, anytime you refresh, it gives you a random number. Okay, and you can put here more than 100, 1,000, 200, or 1,000. Okay, so that's basically it. These are just simple math objects examples, and but I'm gonna put in the list, I'm gonna leave you I'm gonna put available a list in the at the end of the chapter with some more math objects that you can use. Okay, guys, as well as the event handlers and some more methods in JavaScript. So if you have any questions, just send me a message or leave your questions in the comment section below, and see you guys later. Bye. Hello guys, welcome to another JavaScript tutorial, and in this video tutorial I will talk I'm gonna show you how to create your first event handler. So the first thing we need to do is create a form in the body section. So let's create here form, and let's close it. form, and hope you guys remember HTML. And in here, I'm going to type input type equals a button, and let's give it a name. Let's call this submit, and the value, which is whatever we want to appear in the button, is submit as well. Now let's close it, and here is where I'm going to type some JavaScript code in a second, but for now on don't need no JavaScript code. I'm going to show you how to do it all in line in HTML here. So the first event handler I'm going to show you, event handlers is something that you use to create events whenever you click something or you mouse over it. Okay, and JavaScript has a lot of features like that, pretty cool features, as you'll see. So the first and most common, most known event handler that probably some of you already heard about it is onClick. So onClick is very, very common, and which means is whenever you click this button that we created here in the form, whenever we click it, do some action. So the action is, for example, I can type directly between these double quotes. Directly I can type here some JavaScript code. For example, document write, whatever. I'm going to use an alert box, which is more, it's cooler to use an alert box. So inside the parentheses I'm going to type this works. Okay, now you'll see that we have a little problem here, which is if you guys are using Notepad++, and for all of you that are not using Notepad++, probably you also have this in another color. Basically, the editor is saying to us that the alert, these double quotes, this double quote starts here and it ends here. So this is an action. Okay, this is not an action anymore, and as you can see, it's in black. So why is that? Because it's making some confusion, JavaScript, with these, or HTML, it's making some confusion with these double quotes here. So to prevent this, we have to type a single quote in here and a single quote in here. You will see that right away this reads as a whole. Okay, we have the beginning of double quotes and the ending of double quotes. Okay, so make sure you have single quotes in here. And of course, we have type semicolon at the end. Don't forget that. Now let us see if this works. So open Chrome, you have submit, and if we click, there it is. Okay, perfect. This works. So if it's not working, is because you forgot to do something or to put something. Make sure you have the code as I have in here. Okay. And now, something that I can also do, another thing, is, for example, create here a function. Let's call this function test. And here, let's grab this piece of JavaScript code, copy it, and put it in the function. Save this. And now in here, instead of putting directly the JavaScript code, I just have to call the test function. Okay, pretty awesome. Save this. Okay, and as you'll see, if I go to Chrome and click it, it still works. Okay, so instead of putting, if you have a large amount of code, instead of putting the code here directly with a few lines of code, you can put it in a function and then call the function. Okay, so you will write less code in here. Now there are a lot of different as I told you, event handlers. I'm gonna put a list of event handlers or basically the majority of the event handlers that you can use, or the most common ones, in a list or a file that you can find it at the end of the chapter, JavaScript chapter, okay? As well with all the methods, and I'm going to put all those things in one file so you can check that out. But you can also go to Web3 Schools, and I already mentioned this a lot. You can find here everything you need, and you have, let me check here, JS events. Click it. Okay, and here you have a lot of events that you can use. Let me check here, down here in the events page, okay, JavaScript events. Down here you have event reference, okay, so click it, and here you have all the events that you can use, okay, in these situations. Okay, let me just use the on mouse over. You have the description as well, pretty cool. So let me check here and type on mouse over. On mouse over basically is, as the name says, as soon as I pass the cursor between, or the mouse over the button, it will automatically show the alert box or call the function. So as you will see, Chrome, see, I didn't click it. As soon as I pass the mouse over it, it calls the function and appears the alert box. Okay, so these are just a few simple events you can use, and if you have any questions, just send me a message or leave your questions in the comment section below. See you guys later. Bye. Hello, welcome to another JavaScript tutorial. And in this video tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to create your first object. So we will start entering the world of objects, and I'm going to explain you, I'm going to dedicate a full video tutorial later on the course about object-oriented programming, which is basically a way to code and organize your code using objects. But I'm going to teach you how to build objects right away, even before I start talking about object-oriented programming. So you can think, I already mentioned, you can think right now of objects as more or less a function. So objects is something that has their own properties, as I'm going to show you now, creating a new one, a new object, and we can give and design properties to it, and we will use then the object in object-oriented programming. But let's start from the basics. So the first thing you have to do to create an object is, let's create a function, and let's call this function my hero, okay, parentheses, curly braces. Now inside the parentheses we're going to type 3 parameters of this function. The first is going to be name, the second one is species, and the third one is strength. Now let's imagine I'm creating a new object for a game. So the object is not created yet. Okay, this is not an object, this is a function. But in order to create an object with specific properties or parameters, we need to create a function first, which is this one I'm creating now. It's called my hero. It has 3 parameters: a name, the species, and strength. And now I'm going to specify and designate each parameter to a name. So to do that, we need to use the this word. Now this designates the parameter into a new name. So I'm going to use this dot, and now I have to call whatever parameter I want, name, and this is going to be equal to the name. This species equals to species, and this strength equals to strength. Strength. Okay, so now we have designated a name for each property, and as you see, the name that I'm giving to each parameter is the same one. So species, species, strength, strength, name, name. Now down here we have now a function designating each parameter to each different name. And now what I'm going to do here is create the object. Now to create an object, the first thing you have to create is a variable, and I'm going to call the variable hero. Okay, and this is going to be equal to new, and now new is when I mean new here, I mean new object, and the object will be hold, or the variable hero will hold the new object. So now after new, we type the name of the function, which is my hero. Oops, I forgot here. It's not hero-y, it's hero. And here is my hero, and parenthesis. Okay, now inside a parenthesis we type whatever designation we want to give to the name, species, and strength. So let's give the name called Victor. The species is human, and the strength is maximum strength. Okay, or you can give it a digit. Okay, an integer, 300. Now here, if I want to use now the object, I just have to type, for example, document, right? And here I can type the name of the hero. The name of the hero is aggregate, and here I can type now I have to type the name of the object, okay, because I want to call the object and a property of the object, which is the name. Now here I can type, or I have to type hero, which is the variable that holds the object. We never use the object or the name of the object directly. We have to use the variable name, which holds the object itself. So hero dot, and now we use name, okay, which is this one here. And I think this is all. Basically what we'll see is the name of the hero is Victor. It's pretty simple. Let me launch this in Chrome. Okay, perfect. Okay, the name of the hero is Victor. So I can change this and say the the species of the hero and change this here to species, and this will be the species of the hero is human. Let me check now with the strength, which is an integer or a number, and let me refresh, and there it is. The species of the hero is 300. Okay, and this is basically how we use a simple or how to create a simple object and how to output the object or the properties of the object in a string, and yeah, that's it. For now, this is you can play a little bit more with the code and try yourself new things here or new properties, include more properties if you want to, and try to output them all at once. And if you have any questions at all, just send me a private message and I will come back to you as soon as possible. Thank you. Bye. Hi guys, welcome to another JavaScript video tutorial, and in this video I'm going to teach you how to use object initializers. So object initializers is a better and faster way to create your objects. So we learned in the last video with this code how to create and designate properties to an object with a function and parameters, and then how to use it to output something in the web page. Now I'm going to show you a faster way to do all these things. So the first thing is create let's create a variable hero. This is going to be equal to let's type now curly braces, okay, and here we type name and colon, and then we type double quotes, and now we type Victor, comma, and as you see, I'm basically putting the properties that I want to use in the object, and now here human directly as an more or less as an array. Okay, so basically this is like an array with the properties that I want to use in the object. And now is strength. That's strength colon, and let me type here 300. Okay, now down here I have to type down here semicolon. Now down here, no, I think I don't need a semicolon here. Now down here I type directly document write, and in here I type the name of the hero is an aggregate hero dot name. Okay, now hopefully this will output basically the same thing that we made it in the last video, but with a lot less lines of code. As you can see, we only need 2 lines of code. So let me check this, and there it is. The name of the hero is Victor, and as I did in the last video, I can change this to species, the other property, refresh, human, and finally strength, and define. Okay, so this doesn't work for integers. We have to put it in a string, so you have to put double quotes. Refresh, it doesn't work at all. So instead of this, let's type here max. Oh, I know why it's not working. Sorry guys. The T is before the H, not after. So let's save this. refresh, and there it is. Okay, perfect. As you can see, an object initializer, you only need to put the create a variable, automatically is created in the object, and then here you can type the properties you want to give to the object, and automatically in the next line you can output whatever you want or whatever property of the object you want. Okay, pretty simpler, pretty fast, and clean. So if you have any questions, just send me a private message or post your questions in the comment section below. See you guys in the next video. Bye. Hello guys, and welcome to my 19th video tutorial on JavaScript. And this video I'm going to build a very basic login system using JavaScript, and it's a very basic login system. I'm going to use only a password, okay? And we're going to build or we're going to use some functions and also some if statements, okay? So if you guys don't remember how functions and if statements work, I recommend you guys to search for the video tutorials on that, and then you can come back here. So let's start by building a variable called register equals prompt. So you remember what the prompt were? Okay, the prompts were well, you already you're gonna see right away what the prompt is. So let's type inside the parentheses between the double quotes, let's type you are not registered. Please type a password to register. Okay, so let's save this and see the prompt if this works. There it is. The prompt is this pop-up box saying you are not registered, please type a password to register, and then we have a little space in blank to type anything we want. Okay, in this case we will type a password here, but if we click OK, nothing happens because we didn't complete the code yet. So now we're gonna build two different functions. One function we're gonna build with the name success, okay, and this function we will use this function later on to send us to a page or to output something on the web page in form of success, okay, or to output something saying that the password was correct and saying something like success or something like that. So let's type document.write, and if password is correct, I want to output success. You are now in the registered users area or page. Success, you are now in the registered users page. Okay, and now we're going to build another function for a wrong password. Okay, in the case we type a wrong password, okay, we will output something saying error or wrong password or something like that. So function, let's type failed. Function failed. Document write. Let's say wrong password. You are now in the non-registered users page. Okay, so now we have the two functions, one for the correct password and that will output this message here, and another one for the wrong password, which will output this message here. And now we're gonna need an if statement, okay? And I hope you guys remember how if statements work. If you don't remember, you can go to the video tutorial on JavaScript about if statements. So let's type if register is not equal to nothing. Okay, so this means that I don't know if we already talked about this comparison operator here, which means not equal to. Okay, so if the password, which is the variable, the password that is stored in the variable register at the beginning, if the password is not equal to nothing, okay, that is like saying that if the password is something, we're gonna run this code. So if the password, if we typed something in the password, please run this code, and the code is going to be a prompt, another prompt saying you have registered with a valid password. Please enter or please confirm your password to enter the user's page or to proceed. Okay, you have registered with a valid password. Please confirm your password to proceed to the user's page. Okay, so now we're gonna type else. Okay, to in case that we don't type nothing in the prompt. Okay, so if registered is not equal to something, prompt this. Else, okay, or if registered is equal to 0, type or output an alert saying you have, let's put error first, error, and then let's type you have to type something as a password. Okay, so let's see if this works. Let's run this in Chrome. And the first prompt is you are not registered. Please type a password to register. Okay, the first prompt is to register. Now we're gonna type Victor as my password to register. Enter. So now Victor is stored in registered variable. Okay, remember. You can see this here. Okay, the variable register now has stored has the value of Victor. Okay, so now Victor, which is in here, Victor, if Victor is not equal to nothing, do prompt. Okay, this prompt. So in this case, Victor or the register is not equal to something. So the prompt appeared. Okay, the next prompt that we typed, this prompt here. Okay, so we now type anything we want, click OK, nothing happens. Okay, but if register is not equal to 0, okay, do this. Else, do alert. Okay, saying error, you have to type something. Okay, so this else means if we leave the password in blank. So I'm gonna leave now in blank, click OK, and there it is, error. You have to type something as a password. Okay, guys, so now we're gonna proceed, and after prompt we gonna type another if statement, okay, to use the functions success and failed, okay, because we want to compare the first password in the first prompt with the second password that we type in the second prompt. Okay, so after the second prompt we ask again for the same password. Okay, and we need now a comparison saying if register is exactly equal to this prompt here, and you know that to use the value that we type in this prompt we need a variable. Okay, we need to store this in a variable, so we're gonna store this in a variable called user. Okay, so now when we type in the second prompt, in this prompt here, the second password or our password in this prompt, that password will be stored in user, and now we can compare registered, okay, with user. Okay, so if the password that we type here is equal to the password that we type here, okay, see, register equals exactly to user, do this code here, run this code, and the code will be the success function, okay, which is the document write that will output success. You are now in the registered users page. So we type here success and parentheses, okay, and we type here else the other function, which is failed. Okay, failed. Okay, and that's it. Okay, so now the two passwords will compare one with each other, and if they are correct, we will output this success message, and if it's not correct, we will output the failed message or the failed function, which has this message. Okay, so let's see if this works. Chrome. So you're not registered, please type a password. Okay, type my password is Victor. Now in the second, the password is Victor. Click OK, success. You are now in the registered users page. Okay, but what about if we don't type the same password? Let's type password Victor, and now let's type another thing. 1 2 3 4 5. Click enter, and wrong password. You are now in the non-registered users page. So the login system didn't accept the password because it's a wrong password. Okay, it's not the same password that we registered. Okay, and what about if we leave this in blank? Click OK. Error, you have to type something. Okay, so let's type some Victor, and that's it. Okay, success. So you see, this is a very simple example on a login system. Okay, very, very simple, but it's a beginning. Okay, for you to have an idea how the code, a more extended code works in JavaScript. Okay, so if you have any questions at all, just send me a message. Okay, and see you guys in the next video. Bye. Hello guys, welcome to my 20th video tutorial in JavaScript. And finally, this is the video where I'm going to talk a little bit about object-oriented programming. So we already know how to create basic objects in JavaScript, but what is this about object-oriented programming? What this means is basically a way to better organize your code with objects. Okay, so I told you in some videos that objects, it's more or less like functions and have their own properties. So we've created simple objects with one functions and 3 parameters, I think, or 3 properties. But let's imagine that we have 50 objects. Each object has 100 functions, and each function has, I don't know, 30 or 40 parameters. So this is what Google, Facebook, and some other big companies in technology have to code. Okay, they code objects, and they have objects in their projects with thousands and thousands and thousands of lines of code. So to better organize all that, they create objects, each object with their own particular functionality for the application. So that's a way that they could organize themselves and know where the object is. By the name of the object, they know what they do, and they can reuse even the objects in other projects using object-oriented programming. So it's programming oriented for objects. Okay, and that's basically it. It's simpler than it seems, and of course we already did some objects, but very simple simple examples. Okay, but we have to start with something. Okay, so this is just I just want you guys to have some idea of what I'm talking when I say that comparing to those big companies or those thousands of lines of code and objects, complex objects with 100 functions each object, comparing to what we are still learning, it's very it's a big difference, right? So that is something that when you have 1, 2, or 3 years of experience in programming, you'll be able to create those type of objects, okay, with 30, 50 functions and a lot of parameters. But we have to start somewhere, so we start with only one function for object. You can try your own creation of objects now at this point with 2, 3, or 4 functions and more parameters and use them. But I'm not going to give you, I'm just going to give you one more example in this video of how to create an object. I'm going to create a calculator that only, well, it's a simple calculator using an object, but it will create, for example, it will give us a result of a multiplication when I give 2 different digits. And, well, it's simple, but it will give you some another cool idea how objects can work and how you can create something of an object. So let's go straight away to I mentioned I wanted you guys to see the Wikipedia page, because if you want to read more here, you have some more in-depth history. Don't forget, I don't know if I mentioned yet, object-oriented programming is not only for JavaScript. You can apply it to PHP, some other programming languages, so it's generalized. Okay. So here, the first thing I want you guys to do is to create, let's create our simple calculator for multiplication. So let's type 2 variables. The first one, let's call it first digit equals a prompt. And inside the prompt, let's type your first digit. Second variable, let's call it second digit 2Ds. Yeah, let's leave that with 2Ds. Prompt, type your second digit, and let's push it up. And here let's create a function. Let's call it calculator. Open parenthesis, open curly braces, and now let's use this to designate a functionality which is going to be called multiplication, and the multiplication is going to be equal to a function. I never mentioned you this before, but I can designate a function to a property, okay? And the function is going to be, it doesn't need a name. You have to only type function. You only need to type function, and here you type val1 as a parameter and val2 as the second parameter, and open and close curly braces, and this function will return val by val2. Okay. Now down here we create the object called calc equals, and the object is going to be called calculator. It needs the same name than the function. Okay, here calculator and parentheses, of course, and the object is now created. Okay, so we have created the object. The function, I designated directly the multiplication or created multiplication property, which is a function that will return the multiplication of the two parameters. Now the parameters need a value, and I'm going to do alert calc, which is the object, and now I'm going to use the property of the object, which is the property multiplication, parenthesis, and inside a parenthesis I'm gonna type the values that I want to give to these parameters, which are the variables that hold the prompt. Okay, whenever I type the values in the prompt that I want, either 30 or 40 or whatever numbers I type, automatically they will be the values of the parameters. They'll return a multiplication, and everything hopefully will work as a multiplication calculator perfectly. So calculator multiplication, and here we type first digit, comma, second digit. Okay, let's save this and let's run this in Chrome. Type your first digit 2, okay, type your second digit 3, and there it is, the result 6. Okay, 2 by 3, 6. Okay, let's try this again. Let's multiply 40 by 30 and 1200. Okay, so you can try yourself. You can, if you want to, try to improve your calculator and make it more complete with divisions and sums and all that. But now you have also another good idea how you can create your own objects. This is all for the video. So if you have any questions, just send me a message or post your questions in the comment section below, and see you guys in the next video. Bye. Hi guys, welcome to my final video tutorial on JavaScript. So I just want to talk, before we end the course or the chapter, I just want to talk to you a little bit about the DOM. So the DOM is something that you'll see a lot around the web and among developers, which is, it stands for Document Object Model. It's a way to represent the objects or the elements in a web page in a map tree. So I'm going to show you a little example. This is an example of a HTML DOM tree with all the elements, and you'll see that we have a kind of a map tree or a family tree with document at the top, root element, and the different tags that you use in a web page. Okay, the body, the title, the head, and this is how a web page is structured in like a family tree. So we have the parent, which is document, and the root is the child of the document. Okay, so it's pretty much like a normal family tree. We call the parents and childs, and the connection between them, we call them the nodes. Okay, so a child node is the connection between a child and a parent, or we can call it parent node. So that's basically it. Now, what this is useful for is for developers to have an idea where they can access or how they can access through JavaScript or other programming languages, how to access normally they use JavaScript because JavaScript is the programming language to access elements in a web page. Okay, that's why JavaScript is so powerful, because JavaScript is basically to access all the elements you need in a web page. And in the web world, JavaScript, you can say JavaScript is the main programming language in the web world. It's very, very powerful. And so obviously experienced developers don't need this map anymore. They know exactly where they need to access. So you guys, if you want to take a look or save this map to your computer just to have understanding how all this works, and how a web page is represented by objects in a DOM tree, you can save this map here. Now I'm going to show you, for example, in JavaScript. Let's click JavaScript. I'm going to show you the different properties of the objects, of the built-in objects that you can access. So let me click here. Okay, you have JavaScript objects, and I told you in the I think in a few videos ago, or in the middle of the chapter, I told you that I would put a list of all the functions and properties that you can use in JavaScript, but you can also, and I'm going to do that, but you can also come in here in W3 Schools and search for JavaScript, and here you have JavaScript and HTML DOM reference, and here you can find every single property that or function you can use in JavaScript. Okay, so if you click, for example, remember the math objects that we did. We used the round and the random. So here you have all the methods that you can use in math objects. Okay, remember random, here it is. Okay, so here you can find every single property and method you can use in JavaScript objects. Okay, you have also the browser objects here, and the browser objects basically are the main or the first objects that you use to, for example, output something in your web page, like we use like we did with the document. Remember document here? Document is the first thing you need to use to control your web page. Then you have method like, for example, write, and that's when we use document.write. So every time you use document dot or something dot in JavaScript, that means that is an object, and when we type dot after dot, we need to put a method, okay, or a property or something. So basically you can think of JavaScript as a whole bunch of objects or built-in objects that you can use with a lot of properties and methods. Now here you can find everything you will need. If you don't find it, just send me a message, or if you have any questions, just send me a message or post your question in the comment section below. Anyways, as I told you, I'm going to put a list of properties, objects and event handlers that you can use in JavaScript at the end of the chapter. Okay, guys? So don't forget that you still have a project, final project that you can learn and follow in the next videos, which is going to be a login system, a little bit more complex, sorry, that we did in a few videos ago. So that's basically it. Hope you liked the chapter, JavaScript, and see you guys in the next chapter, which is going to be PHP and MySQL. Okay, see you guys later, and that's it. Bye. Hi guys, welcome to the final project on the JavaScript chapter, and I'm going to show you right away the final project finished. This is where I have the files of the final project, and I want to say that you can download this. You will have this available for download at the end of the chapter. Okay, so you can check it out and see the source code. Here's the source code of the final project. It's a very simple form with a few lines of JavaScript, and the result should be something like this. So we have a form. I'm gonna type in the name. We have name, last name, email, password, and confirm password. And I'm gonna type something in the name. As soon as I start typing, you'll have here, okay. So you'll have here outputs for the result of your fields. So let's type the last name. It's okay. Now we can type email. Okay. And now password 1 2 3 4 5 and 1 2 3 4 5. It's okay, but if I take the 5 out and put 6, you see that your passwords don't match. Okay, it's a very simple form. So pretty much for you to have an idea how to start controlling the inputs or a form to output messages to your users depending on what they type on the fields. Okay, so let's start, and the first thing we're gonna do is create the form with XHTML. So open HTML, close HTML. Let's type the head tags, close and head, type title here, close title. In the title we can put my form, and in here let's type body and close body. Now inside the body, let me just save this, and I'm gonna save this in let me save this as index.html. save. And let's create now a form in the body. Let's close form. And now let's create a table, and let's put a border 1. Let's close table. Now in the table, let's type tr td, and here name, td, open td, input type equals text, and let's give it a name, name of name, and ID of name as well. Now close td and close tr, and down here you can pretty much copy this, copy it and paste it down here, and paste one more. So we will have one for name, last name, email, and password, and confirm password. Now make sure here at the end, probably you'll have this problem too. We have to put this symbol here, the bigger than, and I think that's it. Now just a few little changes here. So in here we type last name. Here we can type email, password, and confirm password. Now I have to change here as well. Let's give it a name. Let's call it L name. So just put an L there. L name, L name. Here it's email. Here is password. You can put a password here. Here you can type password as well. And here you can type C password, and here C password, and don't forget here as well password. Okay, so I think we're done. Now we only need the let's just create here an input type for the button. Input type equals submit, value equals submit, and we can type a name here as well, submit. Okay, obviously when we finish the form, the button will not work because we are not sending anything to the server. Okay, this form pretty much we are not sending any information of this form to a database. We will work on that, and we will learn how to send information to a server or to a MySQL database on the PHP chapter. But for now, let's focus only on the creation of the form. Anyways, just put this line to create the input submit button, and basically you'll get an idea how to create the button in the form. Let's save this. Now let's just check this in Chrome and see how it's going. Okay, pretty much that's it. This is the the form that we have. Pretty simple. If you want to expand this or put some CSS on it, you can do it if you want to. I'm just going to create this simple as possible, so I can save a lot of time. So I will skip creating CSS for this. Let me just check here. Let's make here BR a line break so we can give it a space there. Okay, to the button. So submit, nothing happens, of course. Okay, that's it. We will continue with more code in the next video. Okay, see you guys. Bye. Hi guys, welcome to the second part of the final project on JavaScript. So now we're going to start with JavaScript code, and to do that, you already know you have to type in between the head tags here. Let's type script, type text JavaScript, and close script. Okay. Now between the script tags is where we're going to put the JavaScript code. So the first thing I'm going to do is create a function that will grab all the elements or all the ID or all the inputs. So you'll see that we have an ID for each input, and I'm going to create an array within a function to grab all those inputs. So then we can make reference to all those inputs and create different outputs for all those inputs, saying your password is wrong, or your email is wrong, or please type a name. Okay, but don't worry, we will get to that. Let's go step by step and first create a function called register. And here I'm going to create a variable x and an array in the variable. So let's type new array, and down here let's type x 0 equals to I'm going to show you a very cool feature, or sorry, a very cool method that you can use, or function in JavaScript, which is the get element by ID. And basically what it does, it's grab any element that has an ID on your XHTML code. So it will grab one by one the ID name, the L name, and then you can control each of one of those inputs. So to do this, we have to type document dot get element by ID, and pay attention to the capital letters, okay, because this is case sensitive. You have to type as I typed in here, okay, E in capital E, capital B, and capital I. And now parentheses, and inside the parentheses between quotes you have to type the name of the ID. So the first one is name. Let's grab it, name, and then you type dot value. Okay, so this is making reference to anything that you type in the in here. Okay, so anything you typed in here is the value that will be stored in this variable. Okay, sorry, in this array position, which is the 0. Now let's type the next one, which is 1, and basically you can grab all this as well, copy, paste it, and now in here, instead of name, we have to type L name. Okay, let's copy this and put another one here. This is the 2. Copy and another, and this is 3. So after L name, I think we have the email, and then we have the password. And the last one is the C password, which is the confirm password here. Okay, so get element by ID, C password. Perfect. Okay, now I'm going to create another function, but before that I'm just going to make sure that this is working, this function. Now for this function to work, we have a little we can use a little function called the onClick in here, and this is an event handler for the we can use this a lot in forms, which is basically when we click a button, do or call a function. So to use it, we just have to go to the submit. After value submit, we type onClick equals double quotes, and here we type the function that we want to run in JavaScript as soon as we click the submit button, and this will be the register function. So let's type here register. Make sure you put the parentheses as well. Okay. Okay, here it is. Now we just grabbed and put all the elements in an array, but to output something, let's type alert, parentheses, and here let's type X. Let's call the name. Let's see if we can output the name as soon as we click the submit button. Obviously we have to go in here, refresh the page. Now let's try this. Let's see if it works. Let's type Victor, or you can put your name on it, and as soon as we click submit, an alert box will appear saying Victor. Okay, now this guarantees that the code is working. Okay, so make sure that whenever you click the submit button, type a name first, and when you click the submit button, you'll have an alert box. Okay, so if it's not working, something is wrong with your code. So check your code again, or review the video. Okay, so now we can go on to the next function, but we will proceed with in the next video. Okay, guys. So see you guys in the next video. Bye. Hi guys, welcome to the third part of the final project of JavaScript. So let's proceed with a new function. Inside the same function, I forgot to mention this, we still have to create another array with the outputs that we will have for the different inputs. So I'm going to create a new array, call it variable h, new array, and in here I'm going to type h 0 equals to between double quotes we will create a span, and basically a span in HTML or XHTML is a tag like this. We type it like this, a tag that you can put in line or inside other tags to with properties like CSS, so styling with colors that part of the code which is inside the span. But just to make it simple and clearer, let's say we have a paragraph, okay, and we have, hi, my name is Victor and I'm 31. Now let's say I want to style Victor. Okay, so I use a span tag here, close the span here, and I can give it a color to Victor with the style property, which is for CSS. So when you use style equals double quotes, inside the double quotes you can use whatever CSS properties you want. So let's say I want to put this Victor in red. I can type color and then red. Okay. This is not working now because I already used double quotes here. You see, here and here. So in order for this to work, you'll see that color red now appears as black. So that means that this line of code will not work. In order for it to work, you have to put single quotes in here and here. Okay, so now everything is gray now, so it means that this line of code, XHTML code, will work perfectly, and Victor will be in red. Okay, so this is why we use span, and this is what span tags are. But let's take all this out, and let's create a span tag, and let's style this style equals, and now we have to use single quotes, and let's type color red. And you'll see in a moment why I'm creating this style color red. Basically, this is for the outputs of the messages, okay, or of errors that let's say we click submit and we forgot to put an email. So message will appear saying in red, please put your email, or you forgot your email address. Okay, so error messages in red. Now we have to close this, and now we type the message. So please type a name. Let's close this span. Okay, so now we have the error message for the name. Now let's create another one for the email. Please type an email. Sorry, the last. Please type a last name, or your last. Please type your name. Please type your last name. Oh, and in here we have type 1. Don't forget that. Copy another here 2. Please type, this will be, please type your email. Let's copy this and paste it here 3. And please type your password. Copy, and here 4. Please type your, please, we can type here, please confirm your password. Okay, now down here we have to create a field for the outputs, right? Just right after the tr here. Let's type, or sorry, before the tr, let's create td and close td. Now between the TDs we type div ID equals, and let's call this m name, and close div. Okay. Now I have to do that. We have to do that for all the other fields. So in here we can grab the div that we have here, copy, and okay, instead of that, let's grab all this, copy and put it in here, paste it, paste it, paste that, and paste that. Okay, perfect. Now the names are the second one, let's call this ml name. The third one will be m email. This will be m password, and this will be m c password. Perfect. Okay. Now I'm going to show you how you can put something appearing inside a div without actually putting something in here. Okay, so you'll see that we don't have nothing inside the div m name, but here I'm going to type line of code, which is document dot get element by ID, and it's m name, that's the field, and instead of value we're gonna type inner HTML. What this will do is equals to something. It will be equal, so whatever we type here now, it's going to appear inside that div without actually putting anything in here in text, okay, in the code. So I'm going to show you that it works. You can type whatever you want. It's my column. Save. Let me run this in Chrome, and when I click submit, when I click okay, let me take this alert out first, copy, save, and also down here, instead of submit, the input type, the button is type button, okay, because we're not submitting anything to a server. This will be only a button to output something, and basically save that, and now everything should work perfectly, and there it is, it works. So let me run once more. When you click submit, it appears, it works. Okay, so in the next video I'm going to show you for each field that we not complete, we will output in each field, or in the correct field here, the m name or the ml name next to the corresponding field. Okay, so if we don't type a name, I'll create I will put here the inner HTML, or with inner HTML I'm gonna put here an output saying please type your name, and here the same thing for the last name, email, okay, all that. So see you guys in the next video. Okay, hi guys, welcome to the fourth part of the final project on JavaScript, creating a simple form. And let's continue, and inside the same function. Let's take this out, and in here let's create another array, and this will be, let's call this divs, to grab all the divs, these divs that we have created for the output of the messages, the error messages. So instead of doing this type of array, let's create just to vary, just to do it in another way. Let's type new array, and inside parentheses let's type mname. The other one is, the other one is mlname, comma, and email, comma, password, comma, and mc password. Okay, now in here I'm going to create a loop, a for loop, and I'm going to do it first and explain you later what it does. So let me just type for I in x var error hi, and another variable that will grab the divs. Okay, so basically what I did here is create a loop. I'm looping through all these values here, which is the elements or the inputs, and then I'm creating a variable to grab all the errors here, which is the h. You'll see that I have here hy. I doesn't have basically is a parameter for now. It doesn't have a value in it yet. And then I create a variable div for the divs, okay, for all the divs. So now what I do is create an if statement and say if x I is equal to nothing, basically if an input is equal to nothing, do this, which is document get element by ID, and here we have to type inside the get element by ID, we type div, which is the variable div, which holds the correspondent field for each case. And here we type inner HTML equals to error. Okay, error, as you see here, it's the array that holds every single error. And basically we are creating here a very complex system and dynamic for loop that for each of the inputs it grabs the correspondent error message and apply it to the correspondent div, okay, with a very few lines of code. I know that for some of you this for loop or these single and simple lines of code may be a little bit complex to understand at first, but don't worry, you'll get there. Now we type else, which means that you have typed something in the inputs. We type get element by ID, div again, and inner HTML and what we want is to say okay. So make sure you study this and play with this these simple lines of code, sorry, and make sure you study this, and you'll get to the point of all this, to the point of what this is for. It's very simple, but I know that we are starting with JavaScript. Some of you are beginners and maybe a little complex. Anyways, if you need another example or you don't understand it, just send me a message and I will try to explain you better. Now down here in the let's push these a little bit more up, and down here let's push this as well at the top. Now I think we are done. Okay, so very simple lines of coding in JavaScript to make this work. Let's make sure if this is working now. Okay, so when I type here Victor, it's not working yet. No. Okay, sorry. Something is missing. Let me check. I found a little error here, which is it's not MA name, it's M name. So make sure you put M name. Let's try now. Open Chrome. So let's type here Victor, and if we click submit right away, we have OK for Victor, but then we have please type your last name, please type your email, all in red. Okay, so everything is working now perfectly. Let's type here Cruz. If we click submit, everything is working. Anyways, I'm going to show you in the next video how as soon as we type something without clicking submit, because you see that we have to click submit to see the output. Otherwise you'll see that I'm typing now and nothing changes here. But I'm going to show you how to use a function or an event like onClick in the inputs. So as soon as we type something, everything changes in the output. Okay, so see you guys in the next video, and if you have any questions, just send me a message. Okay, bye. Hi guys, welcome to the fifth and final part of the creating a simple form in JavaScript for as the final project of the JavaScript chapter. And let's continue, and I'm going to show you how you can I'm going to create a function that confirms that your two passwords are matching. Okay, otherwise you'll have an output saying please or your password does not match, whether your confirmed password does not match with your password. So to do that, let's go up here, and we have to create a new function here. Let's call it pass, and curly braces here, and here let's type variable first equals to document dot get element by ID, and grab the password dot and the value. And now second, and grab the confirmed password, so we have to type get element by ID, and this is C password value. So now we can grab whatever you type in there and make sure that we can compare those two values that you typed in the first password and in the second password. So we're going to use the variable first and second, and now we can create if second password is exactly equal to first. Let's type document get element by ID, and here we type MC password, which is basically the div. Here it is. It's the div where we want to output the message. So the message we want to output is OK, because they match. OK. And here we can type else. I can grab this, copy it, get element by ID MC password, inner HTML, and here what I'm going to do is create a span and style equals color red, and type something saying your passwords don't match. Okay, save that. And now what we'll do is remember I told you in the last video that as soon as we type something, we will see the output coming. So to do that, we have to use an event called basically like the onClick, but it's called onKeyUp, and for each one of the fields. So we have to type onKeyUp here, and we're gonna call, we have to call here the register function. Okay, and we don't need this here down here in the input anymore, or in the submit button. So register here, we can copy this and put it in here, in the email, in the password, and in the CE password. Okay, so for each time we type something in each field, the function will be called and we'll see the results. Let me try this, see if it's working. But sorry, I forgot just to mention you one very important thing. In the last one is password or pass. Okay, because in the last one we are confirming with the function pass if the confirmed password is equal to the password. So you have to type here, instead of register, type pass. Now I think we are done with the code. Let's try now and type here Victor, and nothing is happening, so something is wrong with the code. Just let me check. Okay, so here we have a problem, which is I typed, instead of semicolon, I typed a dot at the end of the values here inside the function pass. That's why it's not working. Now everything should work fine. Let's type something now, and there it is. So this is it. If as soon as we type, we have confirmation of the output. Okay, now it's okay. Let's type something here. Okay, and the password 12345, and here 12346. Okay, sorry. Let me check. Just 12345, 12346. Yeah, that's it. So if I type 6, your passwords don't match. Let's go back and type a 5, and that's it. Okay, everything is working perfectly. Obviously, this is not a very exact or very complex form, or in terms of security and sending information for the server. For example, you see that even if I type just a D, it says OK. So this is not a valid email, just a D. So in the PHP chapter, I'm going to show you how you can make sure that the user types a valid email, so we will avoid the user sending wrong information to the server and to the database. I'm going to show you all that in PHP. But for now, this is just a quick demonstration of what JavaScript can do. And you can still play a little bit more with the code, change a few little things. You can expand this form with more CSS if you want to make it more with more colors and more effects. But the main thing is that you start to understand how JavaScript works in a very simple way, and step by step you will learn more and more, and start doing more complex things with JavaScript. In the jQuery chapter, jQuery is a library of JavaScript, and basically is it's part of JavaScript and works with JavaScript. You'll learn with jQuery how to create more complex forms with a lot more effects. Okay, guys, so don't worry, you'll get to that. And hope you like this chapter, and see you guys in the next chapter, PHP and MySQL.